Okay, friends, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is where can you actually find this tracker? Okay, that's the first thing that we're going to go over. Now, what is super, super nice is like we talked about last night, but for those of you that were not on, with the team page, everyone should be in purpose driven. This is the hub where you will find all information that you or a brand new team member would need to see success in this business. Okay, when you go to the team page, you click the announcement tab. The first announcement that pops up will be a new website that Carly made just a few months ago. Okay, it took us like 8 hours to make it. Carly came over, Trista and I gave her some information, and it has been a game changer for training new distributors, especially the ones that are taking advantage and watching those videos, all of them and all the trackers. Well, when you open this, okay? When you open it, it's going to give you all of your information in the upper left. And I know we talked about this last night, so just bear with me, but there are new people on here that didn't hear it. So I just want to reiterate it real quick before we get started. The three little lines in the upper left, it'll bring down a drop box. Then there's another little drop box. When you drop it down, you're going to have a little tab that says trackers. When you click the trackers, you will find any tracker that you will need. There's a host to post tracker. There is the daily tracker, which is what we're going to be going over tonight. So what I've been doing, like I just printed myself a new one for the week. You can track 6 days right here. The best part is, do you want to know why there's 6 days here? Because we don't want you working 7. So like strategically, we're going to have this be 6 days so that they will all take off 1 day a week. Okay. Now what I've also been doing is I've been printing the host to post tracker, and then I'm just keeping the day with the 6 days of host to post trackers together so that I can stay organized. I get questions all the time. How do you stay organized? For me, I think I don't know, maybe you guys are like me. I feel like I've tried a little of everything. If you have a system that works for you, don't listen to me. If you have a system that's not working for you, listen to me, okay? You don't know until you give something a chance. And what I will say is, doing this for over 6.5 years, I finally feel like I have a groove, and it's because of the trackers, okay? So that is where you find them. Now, let's actually just get started in what we're going to do today, okay? We're going to go over every single task, multiple tasks. I'm going to be asking some people some questions. How do they use it? Oh, I feel like if we lose power, please don't lose power. If we lose power, just know if you'll just log right back on, I'll see if it'll let me do it from my phone, okay? It's flickered twice now. Let's hope I don't lose power, but bear with me. You're going to be hearing from multiple people tonight, which I'm super excited, but I also, all day long, and yesterday, I've taken little notes here or there of tips of when I go to do one of the tasks, little things that maybe I do a little bit differently that is making a difference, okay? But before we go over tips and hear from other people, I want to show you how to use this tracker, okay? This column, these words, you will see, say the same thing here. The reason why Carly did that was just so that you could go across and it would make sense. So technically, you could go like this, and that's 3 days worth. This is the exact same thing. That's the next 3 days. Okay, so don't get confused there. I've had a couple people say, why is it written twice? I'm getting confused. It's very, very simple. Once you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, now what's nice is at the top, you will see where it says self-development. If you go all the way across, there is a blank space. You can actually even write in what self-development you're doing. Okay, so for instance, this morning, I read I'm almost done with it, one of the last chapters of Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. So that's exactly what I put in there. And then you'll go to the next task. Now, when you look at the tracker, you're going to see a box for story and post. What does that mean? Because I know we have some brand new people on here, okay? So Post would be something that you see on your actual Facebook page or Instagram page. Story is going to be something that you see in your stories. Okay, for those of you that are new or do not use Instagram, I highly recommend getting Instagram because this is going to be a work smarter, not harder. Okay, I post all of my stories onto Instagram, and in your settings, you can connect them. It's very, very simple. So when I make a story on Instagram, it automatically posts it to Facebook for me. Okay? But I want you guys to hear this tip really quickly. Technically, you can do the same thing with your posts as well. If you post to Instagram, it gives you the option if you wanted to set it up to post to Facebook. Please, please, please don't do that. Okay? It was a couple years ago, but we were trained. The algorithm works better if you make the posts separately. So I want to repeat that again. It's okay that you add to Instagram stories and let it add to Facebook stories, but when you do your posts, I would recommend doing the post on Facebook and then just copying and pasting it to Instagram. Am I making sense? Here's why. Here's another thing. You don't need hashtags, and I just watched a couple trainings the other day. You don't really want hashtags on Facebook. Okay? And actually, if you start looking, let's say if you catch yourself, you could actually like test this. I did it the other day because I was like, okay, hold on. I just want to see what this does. I like act like I was going to put a hashtag, and it turned into like a link. And when I clicked it, it was like some craziness. And I'm like, okay, I don't want my stuff showing up with all of that craziness out there in Facebook world. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you won't ever see me using a hashtag. Sometimes like in my post, you'll say hashtag hot mess mom. Like if I'm being funny, that's different. But like for engagement purposes, no hashtags on Facebook, but you can add hashtags on Instagram. Okay, I feel like we're at a good spot. We talked about where to find the tracker, right? And then we've also talked about how to use the tracker. Okay, I feel like I got strobe lights behind me. So it's like a disco party, all the lights flickering. But now we're actually just gonna work our way down. I'm going to interview some different people. You're gonna hear some different stories. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with self-development. And I thought, you know what, instead of hearing from the same people all the time, we're going to hear from some different people. Yes, there's going to be some duplicates, but there's going to be some brand new people that maybe some of Sideline Sisters haven't heard from, and I'm super, super pumped. So, Cheryl, are you good if I start with you?
Yeah, sure.
Will you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you? I think real quick, one thing that's really important about these stories and getting on these trainings for me, it was to find the people that I could connect to. I love every single one of you, but I'm sure if I wasn't in the business, some of you I would connect to differently, right? So maybe someone on here, you're really going to connect to Cheryl's story. So all of you that are going to be sharing tonight, I'm just going to all have you open up with a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. So, hey everybody, I'm Cheryl. I'm excited to talk about this because self-development has been my thing for a long time, probably longer than a lot of you have been alive, just so you know. But I have been in the business. I've been in It Works business for just over a year, and I joined in November of 2019. I also own a dance studio, so I have owned my own studio for almost 20 years. So I've been, in the business world for quite a while. And like Brittany said, I'm just excited to talk about self-development because it's really important to me. And I think that self-development can be the first thing that gets put on the back burner when you start this business, because we're so intense doing all the little tasks that are money, the income producing task. But I think that self-development really is an income producing task, and you need to start thinking of it that way, because if you're just putting it on the back burner, you're really missing out on taking your business, leveling up to a different level. And just one thing that I, learned, I can't remember what book it was. I read every morning, and, like Brittany, and a lot of times some of the same books she's reading. And one of them, I remember reading that our brains are actually programmed for negativity because of kind of like our ancestors, right? Like Neanderthal people thousands of years ago, it's programmed in our brain because of a survival mechanism. So that just means today we still have that programmed in our brain. So we actually will pay more attention to negativity than we do positivity. And that's where self-development I think comes in handy, because if you know that and you start pouring into yourself, and you start, you just start thinking a different way, then you're able to catch those negative thoughts, and you're able to recognize them and then exchange them for something that's going to be more beneficial for you and for your business.
Yeah, I love that so much. It's so, so good. And it's funny that you mentioned that, like, how we used to be our ancestors. Well, in the book, it's so crazy because it talks about how the things, like, we shouldn't even be afraid of the things now, but our minds don't know the difference. They just think anything different, stay away from. Yes. Anything different, stay away from. So I love that you shared that. The other thing, in one of the books that I read, and actually I had preached to me over and over, and I'm sure you've read this as well, Cheryl, is your income will only grow as much as your mind does. How many of you guys have heard those stories of people will win the lottery, and within a few years, they're completely broke again? It's because they don't even know how to handle that type of money anyways. Very few lottery winners actually keep money forever and actually don't go back to being broke again. And so, Cheryl, I appreciate you sharing. Now, I know you're going to be doing like a little bit of a special thing on one of the Saturdays, a little bit more in depth. But is there anything else you want to share on kind of like how, I'm putting you on the spot here, but I feel like this is you anyways, of how the vibes that you put out there, whether we want to believe it or not, it's kind of the things that you will naturally attract. Is there anything that your knowledge that you could like pour into us for a second?
Well, it's just true. And I know it just seems like it's hocus pocus or something, but it really isn't. And for those of you that do, that study the Bible, it is biblical. Ask and ye shall receive. I have said the prayer of Jabez for 20 years. And I said it this morning. I say it before I get out of bed. And I said it this morning. And look what happened. I was asked today to, enlarge my territory by doing this. And this is what I would say. I don't not only do professional development. I think some of these things like money mindset and things like that I consider that kind of professional development and personal, but I also do a lot of personal spiritual development. And I would say that sometimes there's a missing link in just if you think, oh, I'm just going to say affirmations, or I'm just going to journal, but there's a missing link, and the missing link is visualization. You have to see it as it is already happening. You're stepping into it, and you have to put an emotion to it. This is a really big link that is missed. So you have to put an emotion into it, and you also have to put other senses into it. So if I were visualizing ranking up, I am ranking to diamond next month. That's what's happening. And so I visualize myself, and I visualize being on the computer and seeing it pop up. I visualize calling, having a phone call from Christy and from my team and crying, and I can feel it and I can associate different senses with it. The more you can do that, the more you're going to magnify what is coming into your life. And it's exactly what Brittany does. when she talks about journaling and visualizing, it's the same thing. It's not only going to work for your business, it's going to work for your entire life.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And the one thing that I want to say to those of you that are new, when she made a comment saying this is exactly what Brittany does, what I want you to hear from my heart is it's not something that I did until just last year. So if you're sitting here, whether you're brand new and you're like, but I don't even know where to start, just start. And if you're here and you're like, but I've been doing this for a couple of years and it seems uncomfortable, just start. Okay. I had no idea what I was doing. And someone said, journal. I remember the first couple of things I'm like, I have nothing to write. Literally one day I journaled and said, God, what would you like me to write on this piece of paper? Like, I was like, I have no idea what to write. And now every day I know exactly what I want to write. And I write as if my life is already exactly how I want it. Okay, and it's just so amazing. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Next, we're going to hear from Kim. And here's the deal. We've heard from Kim a few times because she's just amazing and we love her so much. I mean, everyone always comes to me and says, oh, Kim. And I'm like, I know, I love her too. I know you all love her. I love her too. But here's something that I wanted her specifically to share about is more of like the faith side of it, because I will never forget when she joined me. No Facebook, no Instagram, no network, was struggling with some health things, you know, and she was very open and honest. And she was like, our family's very private. So I don't even know, like, even if I got social media, I don't even know how I would share because we're just a very private family. And I want to respect my husband's wishes, my kids' wishes, my wishes. Like, I just want to respect the family. And as she got started, so many times she would say, I don't know X, Y, and Z, but I prayed for X, Y, and Z. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I prayed for this. And Miss Thang just went diamond today and got herself a $10,000 bonus. Holla! So exciting. It's so insane. But I'm telling you right now, was it like, I don't know, it was a couple days ago, it was during conference when the people were over, we were talking about it. Within 24 hours, she texted me and she's like, sign another one. Within 24 hours, she had signed like another 5 customers. Like, she is a host-to-post enrolling machine. And although I would love to hear her tips about that, we're going to use her for something else tonight because I know we have heard her host-to-post tips, and we're going to hear from some other people. But Kim, I want you to share your story a little bit, as well as when it comes to implementing faith into your life and business. What does your morning routine look like? And when you can't fit it in the morning, because sometimes you just don't feel well, and that's okay. But how do you still fit it in other times? Let's see if it will let you unmute. You should be able to unmute, I think.
Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Kim Hamrick, and I have been in the business now for, I want to say, about 5 months. It took me probably 3 to 4 weeks to say yes to the business. I saw Brittany on Instagram, and like she said, I had no social media, no Facebook or anything. My dog had an Instagram, so that's how I saw Brittany. And I would reach out to her and ask her some questions, and she was very open and honest with me. And I think at that time enrollments were $49, and then the following week they went to $24. And it took me, the day after that the 24 went away, I signed for $99. And I have enjoyed every minute of it. My self-development in the morning, as far as my faith, when I get up in the mornings, I sometimes don't feel very good. I have some health issues, so it takes me a little bit in the morning to get going. But the first thing I do whenever I get up in the morning is I pray. I pray for the day. I pray for my kids. I pray for a hedge of protection over them, over my husband, because he's a UPS driver, so he's on the road. You never know what he's going to face. And then as I'm getting ready, I listen to, I have been saved for 21 years. So, and I've been at the same church. I go to Landmark Baptist Church in Elkins. And so faith has been big in our family. And So I have it's called Our Daily Bread. Our youth pastor jokes sometimes and says it's the daily crumb, but you know, it's a little something. So, but I have it on my phone. So what I'll do is I'll push the day of it, and then while I'm getting ready, I will listen to that way, because they read it to you, and then they will read a scripture to you, and then they will pray with you. So that's one thing that I do. And then what I do on my lunch break, then, because I have a full-time job, I take my devotional book with me. And then I'll do a devotion. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually read the devotion and put it on my TikTok, so that my friends and followers on TikTok can get a daily devotion also. So I fit it in at lunchtime. Sometimes if lunchtime doesn't work and I don't actually get to take a break for my lunch, then I'll do it whenever I get home from work. But I always fit it in daily, because it is so very important to have that relationship with God. And two, most of my morning posts, probably all of them, are geared towards my faith. And I get so much response from that. I have had so many people, they'll message and say, I look forward to reading what you have to say in the mornings. And yes, sometimes I might see one that I like and I'll pull some stuff from it, but then I add my own Kim to it, I guess you would say. So that works out well for me too. And then in the evenings, I'll read something out of a self-development book, like my 10X rule. So I try to mix it all in. And not only do I have my daily bread on my phone, but I have it in hand too. But I like to listen to it. And then I listen to praise and worship while I'm getting ready. So that's generally what my morning consists of, and my lunch break.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know, you just mean so much to so many of us, you know, ones that are sideline sisters. And I think that's what I want you to look at Kim, and those of you that she's impacted and you've never met her in person. I've never met her in person. Okay. That's what you all are for your followers. How many of you, political or whether it was just the last year or even before, you know how sometimes some posts, they just make you feel a certain way? Even sometimes when you see something you agree with, if there's a little bit of negativity, it just hits you wrong. But then there's also those posts out there that you're like, I look forward to seeing X, Y, and Z's posts every single day. So my challenge to you is, you go be that light, however you prefer to shine, to the followers that are following you. Because what I'm finding is that a lot of people do not have that in their circles. And so that's what makes us different. I also want to kind of add that that's also what she kind of has done on TikTok and Reels too. And at first, you know, not that it was going faster, going slow, but it, you know, she wanted it to go super, super fast. And I'm like, just trust the process, just trust the process. I said, if anything, and I'm just gonna be transparent with you, friends. I said, if anything, what I like about you doing it, even if it's not getting you results, is that your team and the distributors that you're signing and the distributors that they're signing, they're seeing you, their leader, do the things that you're asking them to do. So at least you're doing it, right? Even if it doesn't seem like it's getting results. And then all of a sudden, Kim found her niche. And what is her niche? Her niche is her pillars. What are her pillars? It's what are the things that make her her? And that's exactly something we'll talk about TikTok. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Kim. I just appreciate you so much. All right, friends, we're going to go to the next task, and we are going to go to product posts. Okay, I'm literally just going to work down here. Product posts, it's going to be me sharing, and I'm just going to give you some tips. I'm literally just going to ramble them off. Okay, number one, make sure you have clear pictures. It sounds super, super silly, but you can test it out later. If you were to put your fingerprint on this, and you don't even know you do it. If you reach in your purse or your back pocket and you grab it, if you put your fingerprints on this and take a picture, it will be blurry. Before you take a picture, make sure you are wiping off the lens. If you take a selfie, make sure you are wiping off the lens. It will make such a difference, okay? Same thing with like let's say I was going to take a picture of my collagen, okay? There is a difference between taking a picture that has no lighting versus taking a picture that does, okay? It's not about being something you're not. It's not about the perfect picture or looking like the perfect model in a magazine. That's not what we're asking. But we are in marketing, and when people are scrolling, before this business, you guys have heard me say this, before this business, what did you do when you got on social media? You scrolled. And the only time you stopped is if something caught your attention. Okay, and that's how you have to think when you make posts. So clear pictures. Number 2, as soon as you can use your own pictures, use your own pictures. If you are within your first 30 days and you've not either ordered an auto shipment or earned your shopping spree, yes, borrow our pictures. But once you can take your own, I'm telling you, you will get better results when you take your own. Okay, next one, eye-catching. The next one, different environments. For instance, okay, let's say I'm talking about collagen. One day, my picture could be a selfie. The next day, it could be a picture in front of the computer screen. The next day, it could be in the kitchen with the water and the packet sitting on the counter. The next day, do you see what I'm saying? That every day I could post about the collagen, but not every day am I posting the same picture. If you have found yourself always posting selfies, you probably have noticed that the interaction is starting to go down. Okay, let me give you another tip. What I mean by that is if one day you do a close-up selfie, maybe the next day if I want something, I will set the timer and I will step back, set the timer, and hold my coffee like this, okay? And then I'll give them a full body shot. As silly as it sounds, you have to make them think when they're scrolling that you don't know or they don't know what you're talking about. So if they're scrolling, they will assume that they already know what you're talking about once you join this business. So our pictures are what tells them otherwise, okay? For instance, when I mean different environments, drop a 1 in the chat if you do laundry a couple times a week, which should be most of us, unless you have a husband like me and he does it. But I do other things, okay? But my point with that is that if I have my coffee mug, instead of taking a selfie every single day, maybe one morning I hold the coffee mug and in the background is the pile of laundry that I need to accomplish. Because people are not going to relate to your coffee mug, but they're going to relate to the laundry in the background. Am I making sense? The biggest thing is make sure that when they're scrolling, you're giving them a reason to stop, okay? The next thing, my biggest tip when posting about products is to tell a story. Yes, like today, I did a very salesy post. And actually, I did it so you guys could see. Today, I showed a bottle, which I rarely do, okay? And I even talked about pretty much salesy. Very rarely will you see me make a post like that. What I will make a post of when I'm talking about my coffee is something where I am showing the coffee somehow. So in that post, if you read it, I'm talking about coffee and chocolate greens. But when you are scrolling, if you were not my friend on social media, Facebook or Instagram, you don't know that post is me promoting a product. Make sense? So people stop, and what that post purposely, I did no makeup and Zella and I had wet hair and we were in robes because that's not something that I post every day. And we purposely picked both Disney mugs. I know that I have to catch people's attention. When I catch their attention, I usually kind of tell a story of what we're doing today. That day I happened to have a crazy morning, so I talked about having a crazy morning, but then I also and always add, what Skinny Brew does for me and why I like it. Okay, let's keep going. The next thing, oh, real quick, product post. Couple tips I want to give you, and I want you guys to really, really hear me on this, because those of you that are going for bonuses, I really need you to understand that this will make or break going as fast as you want to go. Okay, so today, 6 a.m., no makeup, glasses, there was something in my eye, and I was like, I am not redoing this. It's too early for that. Okay, I talked about coffee. Then after I got done talking, then I added the salesier slides. If you find yourself just using slides like this, you may see that your interaction starts to go down. But if you can give them something to watch, then, so in my stories, I was talking about something else. I wasn't talking about coffee in the first couple seconds, caught their attention. And then I go into a product, and then I add the salesier slides. It seems to work really, really well. The other thing that I want to talk about in your stories, I'm challenging you guys, especially those of you that are going after these bonuses, or in your mind, you're like, I'm getting one, whether it's this round or whether it's in 6 months when they come back, like, you know where you're headed. I'm really begging you to start showing your face in your stories, but we're going to talk about why that's so important. Okay, so speaking of that, we're going to go straight to stories, and we're going to hear from Shay. So I want Shay to tell us a little bit about yourself, what fun stuff you're working towards this month, and then kind of, I'm going to pop something on you a little bit. I know you're doing stories, but will you kind of talk about how you could incorporate non-at-work stuff, business stuff, and product posts in your stories, and how a day would look like for you?
Yeah, sure. Hi. Hello. My name is Shay. I have been in this business for 2 years. When I started, I said no a lot before I actually joined, and I'm talking like months of saying no. But I was lost, and I needed something. I have 2 daughters. My husband and I work full time. And as a mom, you pour all of yourself into your children. And then I woke up one day, and I needed something for me. And so after months of saying no, I thought, sure, maybe, like, yeah, okay, maybe this is the thing. Like, maybe this is the thing I've been praying for. I just didn't know that it was it. And it kind of has been. Like, from a personal perspective, it has made me a better parent, a better wife. It is completely changing the way I think about our finances, having an extra stream of income, all of those things. And to think I almost missed it because I didn't realize that this is what I was praying for. So I'm forever thankful for this company. So stories. I have to preface this with, I love stories so, so much, because I think via stories, you have such an ability to connect with your followers that you do not get on your walls, because they see you, they see your face, and they hear you, they hear your voices. And so just for a second, I want you to think about, and I'm going to put this out there and pray that I'm not the only one that does this, because then I'll seem crazy. So we all have those social media people that we follow that in our brains, we're best friends, right? Like, they don't know it, but we are like BFFs, right? Okay. So think about those people. What are they doing that are making you feel that way? For me personally, I'm watching their stories. I'm watching what they're doing all day. I'm hearing their voices. I'm seeing their family. I'm seeing what they love. They're telling me about the things they love. And we have the ability to do the exact same thing. So what I want to encourage you, instead of being scared about your stories, treat it like you're talking to your best friend on FaceTime. So like, that's all I think about. So when I'm doing the stories, I'm thinking about my friends, and I'm like, they totally want to know what I'm having for lunch. You know, like, I mean, just something silly like that. But every morning, without fail, I make stories about my bougie coffee. Now, I say bougie so many times intentionally. One, because I really do like bougie foo-foo coffee. But I say bougie so much that when people hear the word bougie, they think of that girl and her coffee. So I have had people send me t-shirts, like, not that pause. They haven't sent me the t-shirts, but they send me pictures of like a t-shirt that says bougie, or they'll send me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I saw this today and I thought about you. So it's twofold. One, they're seeing me make my coffee, but they're also like, I have worked my way into their memory because I'm so consistently calling it my bougie coffee. Okay. So I made notes because I forget what I'm supposed to say sometimes. Okay, so again, just encouraging you, people want to see your face, they want to hear your voice. I know sometimes people get weird about hearing their own voices on their stories. You only sound weird to you. Like, everybody else already hears you. That's what you sound like every day. So it's not weird to them. So just don't focus on that piece, but they want to hear you and they want to see you. They also, Brittany said this too, they want to see you mess up. So like she was saying this morning, like when she rubbed her eye because it was early, don't remake your stories. Like, this stories is a way to be real. It's not like on your wall, your pictures are posed and they're pretty and they're like, you're trying to get people to stop their scrolls. Stories are like the behind the scenes of your life. So like, be real and just be honest. And do you know how many times with my frother, I have splashed coffee out of my cup? Like, all the time. And like, the perfectionist in me wants to stop, clean it up and come back, but don't. Just power through. People want to get to know you. And it's a great way for them to see you not only making your product and talking about your product, but they see that you're actually using it and why you love it so much. So it's a really good way to kind of get your message across also.
I love it. Thank you so much. And you're going Emerald this month.
I'm going Emerald.
Woohoo! I'm so excited. And I'm just
Thanks.
so proud of you for pushing and never giving up and knowing what you were working for. But I think what she said in the beginning, why she didn't give up, is because she stayed so plugged in with everyone that this is more than just an income to her.
Very much so.
I would say that's why you're still here. And
Absolutely.
now she's going to even see the bigger blessings financially. So you guys all heard that. 2 years and she's going Emerald this month. Okay. But you said something at the beginning that I kind of wanted to go to what you said and actually tie it into something Cheryl said. You said, this business has made me a better parent and a better wife. And I would actually say that's the same for me as well. Not perfect. Okay. I do not have it figured out. But the big difference is when I do something wrong, I feel it quicker of like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have reacted that way. Or, ooh, that's an area I want to work on. And it's because this business preaches the self-development and we've done so much work on ourselves, we can acknowledge the areas that we would like to be better. And so, I don't know, like as you were talking, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel the exact same way. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you so much. Okay, I want to go into some things now. She just said, actually, I want to do this. Drop a 2 in the chat if you have ever purchased something off a boutique, off Amazon, or off like Instagram, Etsy that you saw someone else talk about. Some of y'all were answering before I even finished the question. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, how do they even know? No, but my point is oftentimes, if someone posts a picture, I'm like, okay. But and here's the thing. Have you guys seen those like Dyson blow dryers? Like, I've seen them in the store. Okay. And I'm not spending that much, but I've seen them in the store. And when I see it, I see a blow dryer that cost, in my opinion, way too much money. So I've always been like, oh, that's cool. And I keep walking. Well, just recently, I've seen a couple girls that I follow on Instagram doing videos using it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And granted, some of their hair is super, super long and it's like beautiful. And what's funny is, if I had a need for it, I could say that I could actually see myself purchasing it. But it went from seeing it in a store, sitting on a shelf, which seemed useless to me, and now I'm seeing it in action, and I can actually visualize it being something I could do. And the difference was, it was that I have connected to people through stories because they talk. Okay? Now, some of you are like, I'm super nervous. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Awesome. And I would actually say sometimes I wish I still was. You want to know why? Because I hear it all the time. I can't do what you do because I'm not that confident. And I'm like, if you only knew how much I've grown. So if you find yourself being nervous, I would say own it. Go to the stories and be like, all right, guys, so I'm kind of nervous doing this, but I'm really excited to tell you about some stuff. So this is something I've been implementing into my routine. I'm really liking the celery. Or I've been adding, does that make sense? How you can address that you're nervous. But the second that someone else sees themselves in you of like, oh, so they're a real person, well, maybe I could do this too. The other thing I want to stress is please, 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 your Facebook page and your stories, please make sure it's not all it works. That will be the quickest way you get unfriended and unfollowed. And how I know this is because I've almost hit the 5,000 friend limit. And when I make a post, like tops, it's 200 or 300 likes. Do you know what probably happened? I honestly think most of the people I'm friends with unfollowed me in the first 2 years of my business. I didn't know any better, so I was spamming them all day long. And they were afraid they were going to see me at church or in town, so they just unfollowed me so that they still think we're friends, but they're not seeing anything I've ever done, okay? I'm going to give you guys some ideas really quickly. Some non-it works post ideas. Things to post, but also to talk about in your stories, okay? Food. Fitness. Crafts, your hobbies and interests, your family, and most importantly, questions. Have you guys noticed that when you make a giveaway post, I want you guys to hear me because this will show you exactly how it works. Have any of you guys made a giveaway post that a lot of people comment? But then when you actually send the message to do the giveaway, they don't really follow through and post for you. But they wanted to tell you their opinion, didn't they? Or they wanted to talk about what they enjoy, didn't they? Because we live in a world that people want to be heard. So if you're noticing that your engagement is down, maybe you make a post that you're specifically working on engagement. I was talking to one of my girls and I brought this up last night, but I know we have some different people on tonight, and she was looking for ideas and I was like, hey, do you happen to be cooking dinner tonight? She was like, yes, actually I am cooking. I said, perfect, take a picture. Take a picture of it with your setup, the ingredients, whatever, snap a picture, post it, and talk about how this is what you're doing for dinner, but you're needing some winter ideas of some meals to make. Everyone wants to give you their opinion. Now, I'll be honest and tell you what you ask opinions for. Don't ask any like deep opinions. Like, don't let it get heated on your social media where you're like, oh, I don't like so-and-so. We don't want to play like that, okay? Keep it like, you know, where do you shop for clothes? Or, you know, what's your favorite restaurant? We're looking to go on date night this weekend. Things like that. You'll notice that your engagement, you know, goes up so well, okay? All right, next thing. Interacting with 25 people. This is crucial, and this is something that I'm going to call myself out on. Any of you that work with me, you know I rarely comment and like on any posts. This is something I just told my husband I've got to do a better job of. I don't do it because I don't care. I don't do it because I will get caught in the scroll really bad, and I can look back and I just spent 4 hours on social media and I did nothing. So I just stopped doing it. But what I've realized is my engagement, it's one of those things that people will only care about what you're doing if they know that you care about what they're doing, okay? And so here's what I will tell you. I'm going to start doing a better job of it, but I'm telling you, I'm being real and honest and just telling you that like, there's still areas that I have to work on, which is why I still get on trainings myself. 6.5 years and I'm still learning, okay? But I'm telling you, don't miss that one. So some people ask me, well, what does that mean engaging? Okay, here's a couple ideas. When you're scrolling on social media, don't just like it, love it, and actually comment. That's an idea. The other thing is watch stories, and if you see someone, comment on their story. Okay, that will put your message in their messenger. And sometimes I've commented on someone's dress you know, like, oh, I love that dress. Then they say thank you, and then they say, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you had messaged me. Because back in the day, I had asked them to do a post for me. Do you see how there's a couple different ways that you can engage? Okay, I'm going to keep going unless anyone has questions. Next, we're going to talk about TikTok and Reels. I'm not going to show you how to do that because there are trainings and we only have about 10 minutes left. I don't want to go over too much. But I'm going to give you some tips that I've been watching in training videos because I'm ready to take my TikTok to the next level. I told Ty that I'm going for 1 million. Like, I am determined to hit 1 million on TikTok and Instagram. I have no idea how it's happening, but I'm putting it on the board and I'm just going to keep taking the steps to make it happen. Okay. But to do that, you have to become a student. And like, I'm like, okay, I've kind of gotten to the amount I've gotten to not having any idea. Maybe it's time I actually start like studying it. Okay. So some tips. Use 5 to 6 hashtags. Okay. I was actually watching a training from a girl that has over 1 million and she was like, she's actually really phenomenal. But here was her tip. Half of them you want to be actually that makes sense for the video. So like if it's a dancing video of Ty and I could say like hashtag mother and son. But the other half of the hashtags, make them trending hashtags even if it doesn't make sense for your video. Because you use a trending hashtag, it will show up on more people's pages. Okay, next tip. I have not done this one yet, but I've watched her do it. And I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. Because if you watch your video, it's what she's done. If she's done any of the talking ones where like she just talks, she still picks a trending sound and turns the sound all the way down. So you don't hear the sound, but because it's a trending sound, it shows up on the main page. I was like, oh my goodness, that's a really, really good idea. And I know for some of you, I'm overwhelming you in the fact that you're like, I don't even know how to use TikTok. These tips will make sense once you start messing around with it, okay? I actually, my Ty and I just looked, I got my TikTok a year ago this month. And we were watching the first 3 videos and Ty was like, I would have never let you post that. That was awful. I didn't even do that move. I was like, Ty, we didn't know any better, right? You will learn as you go. Trending sounds. Oh, this is once again, something I have to do a better job of. They said reply to all the comments. Okay, reply to all the comments. And my last tip for TikTok is for a while, I would not do it works. I would do it works until you start to grow a little bit of a following. Okay? It's going to make a difference because here's the thing. You put up one video. Here's the best way I like to explain it. When you make a post on Facebook, do you ever get new friend requests from that post? No, because only your friends see it unless you're public, and that meant one of your friends had to share it, right? When you make a post, only your friends see it. TikTok is the only platform that you can make a new post and new people see it that aren't in your network. So even if you only gained 1 follower a day, which will not happen, you will get more than 1. Okay, I'm telling you, you will see results if you stay consistent. And shout out to Cheryl. I mean, I know you can like shake your head. Like I see you shaking your head. Like for a while, she was just being consistent, and all of a sudden, it's just jumped. And now that she has one, all it's going to take is, and if you watch mine, I'll have 6 or 7 duds, and then 1 takes off. And then 6 or 7 duds and 1 takes off. Just be super consistent, okay? Add 25 new friends. This is crucial, friends, okay? If you are posting to the same people over and over, it's going to be very hard to grow a successful business, okay? Because either they're interested or they're not. And sometimes they will become interested, but you don't want to wait on all your 200 friends to buy from you, right? You want to go find the ones that want it now. And that is where Host to Post comes in. So I'm going to give some tips, but what I like about Host to Post is instead of having to like go through and add strangers and hope that they accept, I would rather be doing host to post, and at least I know I'm adding people that are interested. So Alexandra, are you on here, and can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi.
Okay, guys. So let me just introduce Alexandra for a second, okay? She signed on almost the last day of November. She's already signed 3 distributors, and she signed 32 customers by herself. Okay? Now, what I want you to do right now, my friend, is I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi. My name's Allie, like she said. I am a mom of 3. This is the oldest. Sophia is 2, and I have a set of twins that just turned 4 months old. And my background is actually in farming, so I come from a dairy and beef farm, and I also now work at a bank full-time. And my husband does construction and another job on the side too.
So crazy. Do you guys hear that? She has 3 little ones, twins, works a full-time job, and she's absolutely killing it. And something that I just have to give her a shout out is she's so good about saying, hey, I've went and done X, Y, and Z. I'm ready to take it to the next level. But she goes and applies it, figures out what works, what she needs help with, and then we usually get on another call and I'm like, perfect, now that you've done this, add this. It's so refreshing to be able to coach her because she's implementing things that we're talking about on these trainings. And so today she's going to talk to you. You're good. She's going to talk to you. Oh,
I don't think everyone wants us to read Big Hungry Bear.
is that what she wants?
Yeah. My husband just went and put one of the twins down, and so he'll be right back.
No,
and so
you're
she's
good.
right at bedtime. But sorry, I
like,
was literally no kids this whole time, and then she comes right at the end.
She's like, there's all these people and they don't want to hear my bedtime story. What?
It's okay. It's okay.
Here's what I'll do. Are you good talking right now, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you keep going. I'm just gonna give her to Andy. I'll be right back.
Okay. Guys, she's literally the sweetest. It is crazy how I'm like, it's okay, we can do it later. And she's like, no, it's fine. She's like, she'll text me and she says, okay, well, I took your advice, and when I got up to feed the twins at 4:00 in the morning, I went ahead and stayed up, and I made my coffee, and I did my self-development, and I'm like, girl, when are you sleeping? She's like, it's okay, I want this to work so bad. And I'm like, well, it's working. Okay, so tell us how you're using Host to Post and what that's looked like for you.
Literally, Host to Post has changed everything. I really got in trouble when I did too many or asked people to post for me too many during the week. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do like one at a time because this is just overwhelming. So it started with the giveaway stuff, and then just putting in everyone's messages like, post this for me, and then that's your entry or whatever. Now it's turned into people that have purchased a product. I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor and post this on your wall for me? Like after I get them all set up, either samples or getting them enrolled and stuff. So that's really been a huge game changer for me. And I know I'm not super consistent on the post, but the Host to Post is saving my life, like the daily post, I mean. So the Host to Post is really doing it for me.
Okay, guys, I want you guys to hear that tip. So every person that orders a product from her or purchases a sample, she asks them to do a favor for her. Okay. And I know I've been working with some of you and you're like, man, I just don't have a network, so I cannot get people to post for me. Allie, did you ever have that issue where you couldn't get people to post for you, or no?
Not really. Some people, either when you did the cash giveaway and then you said to confirm your entry, do this, they just wouldn't answer. Like you could see that they read it, but they just wouldn't answer. So I just didn't really bug anymore. Sometimes I would go back in and say, hey, in case you're still interested, this is all the post is, just copy and paste it. And then if they still didn't answer, then it was no big deal. The ones where I've seen the most success were when people that purchased, you ask them to do it. And there's even been some recently where I'm like, do you want to answer these people? Because you have 22 comments on your post that you copy and pasted to your wall, and I signed like 6 people from that for her because I offered it to her and she didn't want to, and I was like, shoot, like I want you as a distributor, but okay. So, but at least now, and then I friended all those people that commented, so that opened up a network, and then anybody that liked the post, I friended them too. So even if they didn't comment, anybody that liked it or hearted it or anything, I friended those people too.
Oh my goodness, I love it so much. And here's the thing, guys, is like, it didn't take her very long to tell you what's working, because host to post really is relatively simple. The hardest part is wrapping your mind around the fact that you're going to get a lot of people that say they'll post for you and they don't, or you get people that, you know, don't comment or don't read your messages, and it truly, truly is just a numbers game. Is there any other tip you have that you can think, anything else based on, I mean, do you feel like with your stories, or is it really just host to post of where you're really getting, you would say, the meat of your business?
Yep, I'm really trying to get more consistent on my posting regular and on stories. It's host to post that's making it for me. And don't be afraid of no, because you're going to hear it so much, and you're going to add people and they're going to comment, and you're going to go through all the work of sending them all the details, and they're still going to say no. But I guarantee you keep posting, and those people are going to come back. Like, those are fresh new people that haven't seen you posting lately, and it's like a stranger to them. And so the more you interact with them, they'll come back and say yes, because I've had that experience too. In my personal experience also, the weekends haven't been good for me, just because people start to get busy during the week doing it. In the mornings, people are on their phone, and then right after work, people are on their phone. So they see it during the week, for me personally, better than at the end. But I didn't even get to say thank you for letting me do this, and thank you for all of you guys and all your tips too.
I'm just so proud of you, and thank you for being willing to share. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple more things, and then we're going to wrap up here. If you feel like you have to get off, you guys are not going to hurt my feelings. We're recording it, okay? You'll never hurt my feelings when we go over, but I have just a few more things I want to touch base on. Now, I want you to hear me loud and clear. I'm not giving anyone permission to not do all of the things. And what I mean by that is, I'm not your boss, but I am here to lead with all the other leaders to help you see success, every single one of you. So it would be very not kind of me to tell you you could get away with doing less and get the results you're looking for. However, with that being said, if any of you find yourself in a situation, or any of your brand new team members, that when they're brand new, they're having a little bit, they're having a hard time fitting in all the tasks. I'm not saying do this forever, okay? But I am saying that if you have someone that's only going to do one task a day, I would hands down do host to post. Host to post helps you sign people. Posting does not. Posting waters the seeds from the people you've added to your network. Okay, so I was like, do I share that tip? Because what I don't want to do is be like, well, all she said was to do host to post, and you never add to your stories, and you never make another post. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But I remember, you know, talking to Allie, and she has twins, a little one, working a full-time job, and he's gone all the time. And she's like, I want this to work, but how do I fit it all in? And I'm like, if you can only fit in one thing sometimes, always do the host to post. And friends, less than 2 months, 32 customers and 3 distributors. I'm just so, so proud of her. Okay, so one of the things on here, we're actually almost done. One of the things on here was add 25 new friends. What I love about host to post is it does it for you. Those are the people you're going to add. So when you look at this and you're like, man, that's a lot of tasks. No, a lot of them are wrapped up in one. Okay, the next one, okay, this is a big one. Okay, share coffee sample info in your stories. I was not doing this, and if you've watched me, I've stopped doing it. But for a while, I did it non-stop for like a week or two, and within a week and a half, I think I sold 23 samples. Okay, but it was because on my story slides, when I would get to the point where they could talk, I would say we have a 3-day sample pack for $20, or I have a promotion on larger pack supplies. I never give them the full detail because I want them asking questions, but I'm getting a lot of results from that. So now we're going to hear from Shannon. And if I remember correctly, it's over 50 samples sold in 3 months. So tell us how you are doing that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon. I've been with It Works for going on almost 4 years now, on and off for 4 years. And Host to Post has definitely changed the game for me when I actually started to take it seriously about this coffee. I knew that I wanted to start paying for Christmas in cash, and I knew conference was coming, and I knew that I wanted to be able to take a trip to Arizona. I literally just got back today from conference. So I literally set it in my mind that I was going to pay for Christmas in cash and that I was going to pay for my conference in cash. And so I literally just started doing Host to Post continuously with coffee and the giveaway posts. I would highly recommend when you do your Host to Post to get your giveaway post out first and then do your coffee post, because the people that actually comment on the giveaway post are the people that I will add to my network, message them, and have them do the coffee post. So I'm literally getting them, or I'm getting my giveaway, I'm giving maybe 5 to 10 giveaway posts, adding those people, and then those people are going to do the coffee post. So literally, that is how I probably made $800 to $900 extra dollars within 3-4 months. I told Nicole this the other day, but because of this business and because I made that much money, I was able to tip a guy right before Christmas, tip a guy $150 for just a pizza delivery. Just because I wanted to, I had the extra cash, and God put it on my heart to give it to him, and I got sorry guys, I actually got a thank you in the mail from my pizza guy, and because it was just, he was so thankful that I was able to give back to him. And I was able to donate 4 Christmas coats to 4 different children because I had made that much money to be able to give back. So, Host to Post, I'm telling you, you guys, you gotta do it and stay consistent.
Thank you so much for sharing, guys. And here's the thing. I appreciate you being vulnerable, and I'm trying to blink so I don't cry. This business is so much bigger than what people think it is if you will stay locked in and close to the fire. It's very hard for me. I'm just going to use me as an example because I'm one of the leaders for all of you. It's very hard to track down 2,000, 4,000 people. But if you stay close to the fire, you're going to hear from, maybe I don't inspire you, but maybe what Shannon was exactly what you needed to hear to make this business about someone else and not about you. Right? Everybody has to hear from different people, but in order to hear from the different people, you just got to stay plugged in. And Shannon, I'm just so proud of you, for giving back, but also for taking advantage of the fact that, and I'm just going to put it out there, she had got to the point where she was like, man, I've signed some team members and it's hard to keep them all working and I'm kind of in a situation. But here's the thing, instead of being like, okay, well, I'm going to take myself out of the game, she looked at it as okay, in this business, you can make money multiple different ways. So I'm going to go control the way that I know I can control. Selling samples has nothing to do with if every distributor I've ever signed has quit on me. I can't help make money to go give back, but I can control how many samples I go sell. And that can control if that I have money for Christmas and money to go see Nicole in Arizona. Little things like that, that when, you know, this business is bigger than the original reason that you joined. And for those of you that have been in any amount of time, you have already noticed that. But our people on the outside, they say, will you just stop talking about your coffee every day? No, I will not. Because this business allows us to, what does our team page say? It allows us to live and give without limits. Okay, I'm going to finish. I'm going to keep going so we don't get too distracted, so that I don't keep you here till 11, because I would hang out with you, but honestly, I need to get to sleep if I'm going to get up at 4:45. And I'm only getting up because Nicole makes me get up. I'm just kidding. But she does. I know she's going to see me, so I got to see her. You know, that's just the way it rolls. Sharing coffee samples, okay? Fortunes and the follow-up. How many of you have ever, right now, you can think of something of like, man, if time would slow down, there's actually an order that I would go place, or I would go to the store to pick up X, Y, and Z. There's so many times that, you know, I'll see a boutique and I'm like, actually for Zella, I keep seeing these outfits pop up on my page and I genuinely want to order them, but I don't want to take the time to go there, pick them out, put my card in when I have people that I need to help. So guess what happens? I just keep putting that order on the back burner. But if someone from that boutique would message me and say, hey, could we place the order for you? I would take a picture of my card right now and just say, yes, please. I know what I want. I just don't have time to figure it out. Fortunes in the follow-up. When you switch your mindset to, you're not annoying them. I don't bug people all the time, but I do send them little reminders of saying, hey, I know I talked to you a couple weeks ago and this wasn't a good fit for you. I did want to let you know that they brought back the Pick 3 promotion. Or, hey, I know last time we talked, the 99 was, you know, the $39 didn't work or the 99 didn't work. They did bring the $39 back. And if you approach it that way, it is not annoying, it is caring, okay? Make it about them, make sure that they know, and just keep moving forward. And then the other one was message previous host to post about the business. Let me explain what this is. For the people that posted for you today, before you message the people that comment on those posts, ask them about the business. Hey, Jessica, I noticed that your post had gotten like 5 or 6 comments. Before I message those people and sign them up as customers under me, do you have any interest in making an extra income? These could be your first 6 customers. These could be your first couple customers. It's a yes or it's a no. Disclaimer, it's usually no, okay? But guess what you just did? You planted that seed so that from now on, when they see your business posts, they start seeing themselves in your business posts. Drop a 3 in the chat if you never saw yourself doing this. Like, or a business like this ever. So now here's what I want to ask you, and we're going to end with this, because the last thing is just have your host to post with you. I want to end with this, and we're gonna log off. So most of you said that you never saw yourself doing something like this. So what was it that made you start seeing yourself do this? Was it hearing someone be real? Was it hearing someone leave their comfort zone? Was it hearing someone that when they made posts, you connected to them? Whatever made you say yes is what you're gonna have to start duplicating for people to tell you yes. The only thing I would say is if you joined me, don't become me. Put you out there. If you join Cheryl, don't be Cheryl. If Cheryl's posts don't fit you, don't make posts like her, but make posts like you. Talk from the heart, and you will start connecting. Sound good, friends? Okay, thank you so much for staying on a few minutes extra. I'll get the recording up. Remember, print your tracker, because if you're going to ask for a one-on-one, I'm going to see that tracker so I can help you with conversations, posts, interaction, and all that fun stuff. See you, friends.